Okay, good morning, Miss Sen. How are you? It's hot. It's hot in Victoria now. How about your city? Okay, today we're going to talk about MaZu DaoYi, Master Ma. You can click the Wikipedia page. It's very interesting and influential historical Zen master. Okay, MaZu DaoYi. So Chinese Maozi DaoYi, Japanese Beisho Toitsu, was an influential abbot of Chan Buddhism during the Tang Dynasty. So again, Tang Dynasty is around 618 to 907, right? The earliest record use of Chan is from the extensive records. So Master Ma's teaching style of strange words and extraordinary actions became paradigmatic Zen law. Actually, you see, he has a stick. Uh, if you look at the right side of the first page, he's had a stick and often strike on his disciples to awaken them to, awaken from ordinary everyday life. Then you may have a sudden enlightenment. That's his teaching, shock technique. But let's say biography first. Ma is his like family name. Chengdu, Sichuan province. So if you have some Chinese food, Sichuan is more like hot, spicy food. But he lived in Jiangxi province. So Jiangxi is, we call it Jiangxi DaoYi. So both Sichuan and Jiangxi is kind of middle or little bit southwest of China. You can Google map, Chinese map. His appearance was remarkable. He strode along like a bull and glared about him like a tiger. If he stretched out his tongue, he reached up over his nose. On the soles of his feet were imprinted two circular marks. Okay, that's very unique. So he was a student of Nanyue Huairang at Mountain Heng in the Yuquan. I will, if you go a little bit, like downward, the successor, let's say, because you better have a total picture of the Zen lineage or Chan lineage. Go to the successors. So if you see that there's a graph here, 6 patriarchs, you can, it's a Zen lineage. We can go click the 6 patriarchs. So it's a very good one to, if you go down again, there's a chapter or graph. You see the Indian lineage from Shakyamuni to Bodhidharma. So you see the first Zen master or Chan master or in Indian lineage is Mahakasyapa. Again, Mahakasyapa is the one of the most important or influential disciples, the 10 disciples of the Shakyamuni Buddha, Mahakasyapa. The famous story about the silent sermon. So you can go on. Then there's Ananda. Everybody knows Ananda. He was the major person who recited all the Buddha's teaching. He has very good memory. Ananda has very huge, precise memories. He can memorize every word of Buddha's teaching. And after nirvana of the Shakyamuni Buddha, Ananda just memorize and put in the books we are reading now. So thanks for Ananda, and he was the second patriarch of Chan lineage or Zen lineage. And anyway, he's the second patriarch. Then if you go a little bit down, there's one very important one here too. So beautiful. So if let's say, just 1 second, sorry. Nagarjuna, I think there's a. Just give me 1 second. Another eminent is the Asvagosa, the 12th. Okay, Asvagosa. You see, if you go to where's the Buddha, Sarvastivada or Mahayana Mahasankika, sorry, Buddhist professor, dramatic poet, and orator from India. So if you the 12th of the Indian lineage, okay, Asvagosa, we call Ma Ming Pusa. So he was, let's say the keywords here. Reading works. Yes, he was author of the influential. If you go to the written works of Asvagosa, the 12th patriarch, he was the author of Awakening of Faith in the Mahayana. So this book was very influential when the Buddhism began to influence China. So 大圣起心论. So the Awakening of Faith in the Mahayana is a very influential book of sutras. So he was what's his name again? Asvagosa was the author. Anyway, I won't go to any details. I just mention you some important figures or bodhisattva. You can go on. It's very interesting if you really studied all these lineage. So let's go back to the 6th patriarch lineage. Then we have, I think it's 18, Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna is, yes, the 14th. 14th is Nagarjuna. Very influential bodhisattva. We can go to the 14th Nagarjuna. He was an Indian Mahayana Buddhist thinker, a social saint, and a philosopher. He was widely considered one of the most important Buddhist philosophers. He was not only a philosopher, he was bodhisattva, is awakened being, human being. One of the greatest thinkers in the history of Asian philosophy, Nagarjuna. Maybe you already heard his name. He has most important text, Madhyamaka, philosophy of emptiness. Okay, maybe we'll go spend some time reading every important bodhisattva and his work later, if we do have time. And Nagarjuna, the 14th patriarch of the Chan or Zen lineage, starting from Mahakasyapa, Ananda, and so on. And the last one I want to say is the 28th, the Bodhidharma. So Bodhidharma, he's the one who bring brought the Chan lineage or Indian lineage to China, and he was the first patriarch of Chan or Zen in China. So if we go to the 28th Bodhidharma, a semi-legendary Buddhist monk who lived during the 5th or 6th centuries, traditionally credited as transmitter of the Buddhism to China, regarded actually Chan Buddhism. He was not, there's a couple of masters around, starting from 2nd century to 6th century. There's a, back and forth between China and India. He and Bodhidharma was one of them. And according to Chinese legend, he began the physical training of the monks of Shaolin Temple. And he was the master of Kung Fu. So he taught at that time, Kung Fu or martial arts in Shaolin Temple, and he was the the creator of Shaolin Kung Fu, which there's a film named Shaolin Temple. You can watch it. So beautiful. And that led to creation of Shaolin Kung Fu, as the Dharma in China and Dharma in Japanese. Dharma of the awakening, body in Sanskrit. So body is the Dharma of awakening. That's his name. Anyway, that's the Bodhidharma, the first patriarch in the Chan, or the 28th patriarch from the Indian lineage, starting from Mahakasyapa. But it's not our key topic today, but it's so important. Okay, that's if you go back to the top, the Zen lineage charts, then let's go on a little bit. So below there's the 6th patriarch in China, their chart, right? The first 6 ancestors of Chinese lineage. So you see the first one, the first patriarch is a Bodhidharma, right? Then there's Huike, the second, and the Zhen Can, the third, and then Daoxing, the fourth, and Hongren, the fifth. And the most famous one is then we have Shen Huairang, which is the last second. If you go to the right side of the right column of this chapter or this graph, the first 6 ancestors of Chinese lineage, the right side column, and the last second is the Huairang, the 6th patriarch's name. So the Huairang is the disciple of Hongren, right? We talk about Hongren, and that's the 6 patriarchs. Okay, now we are studying MaZu actually. So if we go back, so Huairang is right on the. So we're back to the MaZu DaoYi link on Wikipedia. Hopefully you can catch me. We are on the same page, right? So we're back to the MaZu DaoYi, the link I showed in the chat. So MaZu DaoYi, let's go to his biography. Then there's a story here from the transmission of the lamp. So MaZu was the student of Nanyue Huairang. So Nanyue Huairang was the student of 6th patriarch Huairang. Okay, we talk about the story of enlightenment about Huairang. He just heard a verse from Diamond Sutra and got enlightenment, right? You still remember that? So Nanyue Huairang was the disciple of sixth patriarch Huairang, and MaZu DaoYi is the student of Nanyue Huairang. So it's like a grandfather, parent, and grandson, like that. And mountain Hengshan. So Hengshan, mountain Heng is so beautiful. I've been there. If you travel to China, Nanyue, Hengshan, you should view it. Mountain in central Hunan province. If we can go a little bit, mountain Heng. So it's in the middle of biography, mountain Heng. If you click the mountain Heng, I've been there. So Hengshan was known as Mountain Heng, is a mountain in south central China, Hunan province. That's my province. I was born in Hunan province, and the capital of Hunan is Changsha City. The five great mountains of China are so beautiful. It's so different from Canada. It's so different from North America. Uh, it's a different, taste, and nature power. The power of nature is so different. But I just show you the mountain Heng of Hunan, where I was born. So we're back to the MaZu DaoYi biography. Biography in the middle, a story. That's my key topic today, actually. A story in the entry of Nanyue Huairang, the student of sixth patriarch Huairang, right? In the transmission of lamp is regarded as MaZu's Enlightenment account. Okay, now pay a little attention here. Through the text does not claim it as such. We forget about it. An early and more primitive version of story appears in the anthology of Patriarchal Hall, was transcribed in 952. Okay. Reverend Ma, MaZu DaoYi, was sitting in a spot, and his teacher, Nanyue Huairang, took a tile and sat on the rock facing him. So rubbing it. So there's a little bit pretext. So pre-context, like context. Sorry. MaZu DaoYi was doing a sitting meditation for a long time, and his teacher, Nanyue Huairang, said, thought it was not necessary to become a Buddha by sitting meditation. So he tried to awaken his students, MaZu DaoYi. So he put a tile and sat on the rock facing him, facing MaZu DaoYi, who was in sitting meditation, just sit for hours, even days, to try to becoming a Buddha. Okay. And rubbing it. By rubbing it, it makes huge, disturbing sound. Then MaZu DaoYi asked, "What are you doing?" Master, Nanyue Huairang said, "I'm rubbing the tile to make a mirror." Rubbing a tile to making a mirror. Impossible, right? So MaZu DaoYi said, "How can you make a mirror by rubbing a tile?" Then Nanyue Huairang said, "If I cannot make a mirror by rubbing a tile, how can you achieve Buddhahood by sitting in meditation?" So that's the topic of today. Very interesting, right? So for most people, we do the, Burmese, we do the half lotus, we do the full lotus for years, for hours. We try to, meditate, calm the monkey mind, even get enlightened. And Nanyue Huairang said, "No, it's just like I cannot rub a tile to become mirror. You cannot become a Buddha by sitting meditation." And by hearing this, I think there are missing kind of later story. So by hearing this, by hearing the teaching from Nanyue Huairang, MaZu DaoYi got enlightened. The story echoes the Vimalakirti Sutra. Vimalakirti Sutra, again, is very important sutra. That another master got enlightened. I think it's my first video, the first story of enlightenment. He read the, just give me, I forgot his name. So many masters' names. Just give me 1 sec. I think I mentioned him. Yongjia, yeah. Yongjia, Master Yongjia. Yongjia Dashi, Master Yongjia read this Vimalakirti Sutra. By read only, he got enlightened or kind of close to enlightenment. Yongjia Dashi read this Vimalakirti Sutra. The story echoes the sutra and the platform sutra in downgrading purificative and gradualist practice instead of direct insight of the Buddha nature. Again, there's two schools of Zen Buddhism. One is gradual, one is direct or sudden. So I want you to really experience it. Do you need to sit to be aware? Do you need any techniques to be aware? No. So your awareness is prior to every experience, to every technique, to every schools. Even it is Zen. Zen is only a pointer to point the pure listener who is listening. Feel it. Experience who is listening and watching this video now. There's a presence. So there's a your presence, the sense of I amness should be there first. So this pure presence or awareness does not need any technique, not sitting meditation, not the words in the sutras, not even a master's teaching. But all the teachings of masters, all the sitting meditation, all the words of the sutras are pointing you to this pure awareness. It took me a couple of years to realize this. The very mind that is listening now, watching now, is the Buddha. So if you realize this, it's called sudden enlightenment. The very mind that thinks, reasons, suffers, plans, memorizes, is the Buddha. So here Buddha is not a figure in the temple, is not Shakyamuni Buddha. Buddha is a state of mind, pure, clear, transparent, open, collective, calm, still, never changing, never moving, omnipresent, unconditioned, unlimited state of mind. You may say it's body, body, Bodhi, body. There's a pure intelligence here, makes you listening, make me speaking, make you experiencing your room, make me, you know, clap my hands. There's a pure intelligence here right now, at this moment, at this place. When I say this, it's a non-local location. Okay, it's everywhere. When I say now, it's not this second. It's not only this second. It's not only this second. It's omnipresent, while all the space-time are included. That's called here and now. It's a greater here and now. Every space-time is included. While you have this pure, mind or understanding, then you are a Buddha. And it's your intrinsic nature. You don't earn it, okay? You don't practice to learn it. You don't sit for 10 years to earn it. No, you cannot earn it because you are it already. That's called sudden enlightenment. You're already a Buddha. You're already a Buddha. The very mind is the Buddha. And the Buddha is not a figure in the temple, okay? It's a state of mind. Mind is everything, trust me. So if you realize this is sudden enlightenment, you know the intrinsic nature of who you are, the essence of who you are. Then every gradual enlightenment or gradual practice, like a sitting meditation, like reading a sutra, will make a sense. It's very. So you have to know the destination first. Okay, it's like now in the education system, when you are kindergarten, like a kid in the kindergarten or grade one. Okay, the teacher will say, okay, in 20 years you will have this certificate of doctor degree. So in the first beginning, you know your destination is that doctor degree of any subject. Okay, it could be physiology, could be doctor, could be a family doctor or whatever. So while we were in the grade one, we know I will spend 20 years to reach that doctorate degree. It's like that. Now I give you, hey, okay, now you have a degree of enlightenment. We call buddhahood. You should know there's a purpose now. There's a destination. You know the direction now. What's the direction? Ask yourself. The pure awareness that is beyond, which is beyond every experience. Beyond means it includes every experience, but you're not defiled or influenced or disturbed or distracted by the experience. You're still in the world, but you're not of this world. How beautiful it is. That's the final realization, okay? You still can watch, listen, talk to your family. You can, go to your workplace. You can ride the bike, ride the car. You can boat. You can, enjoy every experience of your life. But no, but you're beyond all this experience. No experience, good or bad, happy or sad, beautiful or ugly, can influence the pure mind anymore. That's called sudden enlightenment. It's your intrinsic nature. You don't earn it, okay? You don't practice to have it. You are already a Buddha. Then what the meditation will work on later. The second step will be all your practice become more meaningful or really meaningful because all your practice like meditation, listening, this conversation, or like read a sutra or like any like Eckhart Tolle's, the power of now or the how to live a life by how to say that Thich Nhat Hanh, any sage's books, it will confirm your understanding more and more after you have that final destination. You know the purpose. As a grade one student knows, in 20 years later, he will have that doctorate degree. Same thing is the gradual enlightenment and sudden enlightenment. After you realize the final destination or sudden enlightenment, now you know where to go. Where to go? The awareness is aware of itself. Simple, so simple. 即心即佛, as MaZu DaoYi said. That's why I also want to mention MaZu DaoYi. So if you go back to MaZu DaoYi, his Buddha nature, okay, teachings. So we go back to the Buddha nature. Though regarded in conventional teacher, MaZu DaoYi's teachings emphasizes Buddha nature. Each of you see into his own mind. However eloquently, I may talk about all kinds of things as innumerable as the sands of the Ganges, infinite sands in the Ganges, right? The mind shows no increase. You may talk ever so much about it. It is still your mind, and you may not at all talk about it. It is just the same, your mind. So the pure mind or pure intelligence is complete and perfect, meaning it does not increase because you understand it. It does not decrease because you cannot understand it. That's the Mahamudra. Okay, in Tibetan Buddhism we have 大手印 Maha big. Big means infinite, the size infinite big and infinite small. That means Maha in Mahayana, Mahamudra, all these Ta, big. Big without exterior boundary, small without interior boundary. That's what scientists find now. The observable universe is 93.5 billion light years away. It's only observable. Something unobservable is beyond our equipment, observing power. Also, as small as Planck scale, Planck scale, you can Google it. Wow, so beautiful. Minus 10 to the power minus 33. So teeny tiny. It's beyond our mind understanding. But even though, the Buddha's Maha or Mini is no boundary. So no matter it's observable universe or Planck scale, it's our theoretical understanding in math or in physics, right? But it's the patterns can goes on and on. The patterns can go on and on without limit. That's called infinity, right? But we know patterns now, as Nassim Haramein said it. Once you know the pattern, you know everything. You don't need to figure out how big it is or how small it is, but you know the principle of every scale and every magnitude. Anyway, it's a very interesting. Science and Buddhism meets together now recently, and it's really how to say amazing, amazing. Let's say what's you see. If you go to the examples of this MaZu DaoYi Wikipedia knowledge, what the mind is, what the Buddha is. Now your pure mind is the Buddha. The only thing, if there's something obstruct to you, yet you cannot see that you are the Buddha already, is the ignorance. And no mind, no Buddha. So you see, there's a negation and affirmation again. Once you want to talk about the absolute, you can use both. Mind is everything, and mind is nothing. Both are right. Both are right. It's really, really paradoxical. So MaZu DaoYi is a very important, influential Zen master or Chan master. He has a couple of disciples who brought Chan Buddhism or Zen widespread across the whole China, not only whole China, also to Korea, to Japan, to Vietnam, to all the Asian area. This is the flourishing of Chan. So let's show some gratitude. Okay, that's why we're talking about them, because this knowledge awakens me, and it must can awaken you, already has awakened you. MaZu DaoYi, the second generation disciple of sixth patriarch Huairang, and Nanyue Huairang is his teacher. Nanyue Huairang is the student of sixth patriarch Huairang. 马踏天下，马祖道义。Let's appreciate all the master's work. And again, if you realize your mind is the Buddha, you can continue to practice your meditation, any favorite spiritual book, use that meditation technique or sutras or spiritual books or any teacher's words as a reference point, to go back. Who is meditate? Who is meditating? Who is listening? Who is reading? Who is following? Then you're on a good path. You're in the right path, right view, right destination. Sooner or later, even now, you can enlighten. You can be enlightened. No problem at all, because that's your intrinsic nature. Don't expect that Buddhahood is so far away from me, is so deep and profound that I cannot reach it. No. MaZu DaoYi's teaching is you are the Buddha already, directly pointing you. Then from this moment, your practice makes sense. Your readings make sense. Your sitting meditation makes sense. Otherwise, you are just like a headless fly hitting the walls, the four walls, including the ceiling and the floor, the six walls, and you don't know where you are. You're lost in the infinite approaches of enlightenment. Any questions? Then we end in the silence for our appreciation for all the master's teaching. Thank you, thank you, thank you.